Hi, welcome to a Chip Off the Old Block Toys. Today we're going to unbox and build, at least start it. That is R2-D2, which just came out on the 1st a few days ago. It's set number 75308. It does have a total of 2,314 pieces. I do own a different R2-D2 set, which we will compare in a video after. And yes, there I am. And I actually remembered to turn on the microphone this time. I'm just curious, does anybody else here get the almost daily email from Lego about the different ideas that are submitted by fans? The 10,000K Club, they call it, or 10K Club? Because if you do, today's email was, I thought, a bit odd. They showed this board game that someone came up with that was about Taekwondo, but I didn't really follow it too well. Okay. Well, let's start with bag number one. Okay, well, here we go. Here's bag number one. I was very excited to get this set, mainly because, well, R2 is one of my favorite characters. He's my favorite droid, because C-3PO I find annoying, but I think a lot of people do. But, it's an exciting build, and also I stood in line for an hour and a half before I could get it, so I'm excited I actually did get it. And I could have built this right away and done a video. I saw some other channels that already have it posted, and even though I bought mine on the day it was released, you know, I was glad to be able to wait and do this on a live stream. I thought it'd be funner. Is anybody else planning on getting this set? Jenny says not at this time. Okay. This is a higher price set. It does come in at $200. Which I guess for a Lego set really isn't that expensive, especially like the haunted house was $250, Endor was $300 when it came out. There's certainly been more expensive sets, but $200 is a lot of change to me, so I do count it as expensive. But then again, if you collect Legos, like I've often said, you just accept that it's an expensive hobby. Which by the way, one of the sets that I'm trying to obtain that I was never able to get when it first came out was the old fishing store, the modular one. And I thought I had my hands on one yesterday, but the deal sounded a little too good to be true. And what I always do to test people before I buy it is to ask them if they accept PayPal, because PayPal is your failsafe. I mean, if they give you something that's not up to par, you'll get your money back with PayPal. And so I asked the guy if he accepted PayPal, and immediately he said no, he didn't. And so I said, well, sorry guy, but all my money's tied up in PayPal, which is mostly true actually, because that's how most people pay me with my business. So my Bricklink business. So a lot of my money is tied up in PayPal, and I will use my PayPal debit card a lot to get to my money. I don't transfer it to my bank account a whole lot. And, he said, no, I don't accept PayPal. So I said, no, I'm not really interested. So then he came back later and he's like, well, I'll check into PayPal and see what I could do. And I was like, all right. And then he gave me some goofy excuse about how his bank messed his up last time and it froze it. He can't use it and all this. And then I said, okay, fine. I'll transfer the money and I'll bring cash because it was a local pickup. And I said, but is it genuine Lego? And I didn't hear from him for a long while. And he comes back and he goes, oh, I just now noticed it has the weird off colors. So and it says Tyco on there, which I doubt because Tyco doesn't copy Lego that close, but Lepin does. But anyway, he made me some excuse about how it wasn't genuine Lego, and I was just like, you know what? Nah, I'm not interested. And he's like, oh, but now I can give it to you for way less than what we were talking about. And I was like, no, I'm just not interested. And I don't. I mean, you start doing that stuff to me, it deal's over before it even started. So let's see, how does this go? Okay. Oh, hey Greg, how you doing? There's a rumor about the Tumbler remake. Okay, that would be interesting. Did you happen? I mean, I know it's just a rumor, like you said, but did you happen to hear an approximate release date on that? Oh, and I also had another experience in the last couple weeks, and actually it was just, I think it was Saturday. There was some guy saying that he was selling his $18,000 something. I think it was $18,000. It might have been $16,000 Lego collection for only $6,000. No, it was 18 because it was a third for $6,000. And so I was kind of really like, I don't know about that. Sounds scammy already. So I talked to the guy and I said, hey, do you accept PayPal? And he says, nope, I want cash only. I said, oh, okay. Well, I'm not interested then. And then he came back with, well, maybe we can work something out. And I said, well, PayPal. And he says, no, I can't do that. And I says, okay, don't worry about it. And then I started looking at his profile a little closer. And the guy said he was in my area, but Facebook had his current city in Cambodia, and I'm just like, nah, I'm good there too. I'm not gonna sit here and give you $6,000 and get scammed. All right, well, we have bag number 1 in the bag. So let's start with bag number 2. Greg says September or November. Well, Greg, I got a funny story about the name Greg. And that is, growing up, my name got confused with Greg all the time. Or George. Because my name is spelled like the Toys R Us giraffe, which I know in a few more years I can't make that reference anymore because no one will know what I'm talking about. But my name is spelled Geoff instead of Jeff. And oftentimes we had substitute teachers, I would hear George, Greg, Godfrey. I don't know what the heck to get that from. But okay. That happened to me a lot growing up. I think I was in middle school where that happened to me, and I believe it was middle school. Might have been freshman in high school. Anyway, I had a teacher do that, and she was bragging about how she was an English major, and I'm like, oh, so you're an English major, but you don't know my name is Jeff spelled that way? I'm not sure where you got your degree from. Maybe that's a little harsh, but I just found it frustrating because, heck, if you're an English major, I think you should be able to get that one right. I'm Irish, British, Nordic, Scottish, and Native American. You know, Greg, my family tree resembles that as well. We've got Scottish, Irish, English, Welsh, German, Swedish, and yes, actually a little bit of American Indian too. So I kind of joke with my family that we're European runts because you can basically, and a little bit of French too, I forgot that one. Yeah, there's a lot in there. So, and actually, the more people I talk to, the more I realize that so many people are not just one full, ethnicist, well, I never say that word right. Nationality, I'll put it that way. Another word I can say. I was not an English major, if you can't tell. My major was accounting, so. But yeah, I'm finding that a lot of people, even though they may not look mixed, they are mixed, and I find that interesting. I've always been a fan of doing my genealogy work or family tree or whatever you want to call it. That's always been a thing of mine to do, and because of that, I find names interesting. I find people's backgrounds interesting, and I always want to hear them. Sorry, I should have done that earlier. So we're starting off with maybe a foot. Can't really tell. But what I like about this is we're already starting on the outside of R2-D2 so quickly. Sometimes with these kinds of sets, you're several bags in before it starts taking shape and you realize what you're building. I mean, I know what I'm building, but you know what I mean. Before you start seeing what you're building. Especially those Ultimate Collector Series ones. Those, like the Millennium Falcon one. My goodness, it took forever to get to the point where you're like, oh, I recognize what I'm doing. It's Millennium Falcon here. Oh, okay. Greg says another rumor that the next Creator Expert vehicle is going to be the DeLorean Time Machine. And I did hear that rumor as well. And I really look forward to that. Back to the Future is just one of the best movies. I mean, I could quote a lot of the lines because it came out in, what, 1985? Which I won't say exactly how old I was then, but I'm old enough to remember that when it came out. And that would be really cool. I love the jokes in that movie. It's kind of heavy. Why do you keep using that word? Is there something wrong with the Earth's gravitational pull in the future? Okay, looks like I made a small error. Let me fix that before I get too far, because if I don't, it's going to end up being a lot more important than I think it is, especially with this kind of a set. You never want to mess up one of these Technic sets like this, because they're so intricate that one little mistake, oh my goodness, you have to tear it down very far before you get anywhere. Can't really tell what this little piece is here I'm working on. At least not yet. Oh, so it is what I thought it is. It's the actual leg. Okay. Oh, so it actually fits inside of it. All right, interesting. Greg says, I hope next is Kit Smokey's car, the orange 70s Chrysler. Yeah, that would be a good one. I always like when they go back and do these, and they've done quite a few, like Ghostbusters and stuff. And I mean, given my age, Ghostbusters was also a popular movie as a kid, and I like the fact that they've done Echo One a couple different times, and that's good. And I love how they did Spider-Man, they did Indiana Jones. They've done a lot of movies, and I really like it. And also the James Bond car is another one that I really like, and I think it's really cool how Lego has come out with these different ones like this. There's more, I just can't think of them right now. All right. Okay, something is not right, and it's not. It's me again. I did not pay attention, and I did not put a piece on here. So let me fix that again before we get too far. All right. 2 bags in the bag. I know that Lego does not like doing war type machines, but Nighthawk would be one that I would like to see, the helicopter. piece in there. Yes, I have seen Smokey and the Bandit. In fact, I got a bad story to tell about that. Do you remember the part Smokey and the Bandit where the guy is in the ambulance and during the chase he ends up getting thrown out of the ambulance, but he's on that hospital bed thing and he's on the road, and the sheriff doesn't realize what it is, and he says, "Oh, it must be one of those new Japanese sports cars." Well, when my kids were smaller, we were on a street near our house, and a car's wheel had fallen off. And they were on the side of the road trying to fix it. And my kids, you know, they were small, and they said, "Oh, is the car broken?" And I decided to mess with them. I'm like, no. That's one of those new Japanese sports cars. It's only got 3 wheels because, you know, I was borrowing from Smokey and the Bandit. Well, I didn't realize my kids were going to repeat that later. And we had the... Okay, looks like we're back. I'm sorry. That was not the same problem I was having. My internet actually fully disappeared for a minute. And I hope the story I was telling, I don't know when it got cut off. I hope you guys heard that story. But yeah, I've seen Smokey and the Bandit with Burt Reynolds. Well, I made a little mistake here. Let me fix that. Yeah, there's a lot of construction still going on in my neighborhood, so yeah, the internet connection can be spotty at times due to that, especially when they're adding another house. Because I'm the last house on the street right now, but there's houses close to me that are being worked on as we speak. And in fact, I don't know if you guys hear it or not. Sometimes you'll hear the power tools going because they're got an air compressor out there. There's a house directly behind me being built. And they got that nail gun going on the compressor. Hey, John. It says, "Hey, sorry I'm late." Hey, John, better late than never. Doing R2-D2 here. And Greg says, "I like the Jack A series," and yes. Greg, we must be about the same age because I do remember that as well. That was MTV, if I remember right. Yeah, they did some crazy stuff for some views. It was kind of like, in my opinion, it's kind of like YouTube before YouTube. Because I see people doing crazy stuff on YouTube too right now. And it's kind of sometimes the same stuff you'd see on that show you just mentioned. John says, "May the 4th be with you." Yes, I've seen quite a few memes today related to that, and some of them were extremely funny. Like I saw one that says, "May the 4th be with you," and May 5th is Revenge of the Sith, or no, Revenge of the 5th instead of the Sith. And it said that's just how May rolls. And John says that sucks. They can't build behind me. Yeah. I've met the people that are buying the house directly. Well, it's kitty corner from me, but yeah, I've met them. They actually seem like a cool couple. They got a couple of young children, 2 boys, and I think they were like 6 and 9, if I remember right. Anyways, they seem like they were pleasant people, so glad to know that. I already have good neighbors around me on the houses that are built, so it's a good neighborhood. And John says, yeah, thanks, and I'm 53. I never saw it. Yeah, I thought eventually they got sued for something. I think it was the one where the guy got hit by a car, and he ended up getting a lot more hurt than they thought he would, because he thought he'd be able to jump in time or something. But yeah, I don't remember it being on for that long, but I could be wrong. And Greg says, I liked where Steve O got slung up in a porta potty. I didn't see that one, but what an adventure, huh? I hope they got him unexpectedly on that one. I think the worst thing we did as kids is that on a scout trip one time, a camp out at the ranger station, there was some porta potties, and one of the guys that was in there was always messing with people, and I didn't personally participate, but some of the guys grabbed some rope out of their pack and they wrapped it around the door so he couldn't get out. Kind of messed up. Wow, these are kind of hard to get in. Yeah, John, I was wondering if you were going to make it tonight. And if you weren't, I was going to text you afterwards, make sure everything was all right. And John says, I have a preserve behind me. Well, that's good too, though. Having somewhere that can't be developed. There's nothing wrong with that as well. Where my parents live at, there's like, their house was the last one, and there was probably good, maybe 100 acres, maybe a little bit more, right behind them that was just wooded. And it was that way for years and years. But a developer bought the land. And recently, real recently, they cut down all the trees because they're building houses, and my parents aren't happy about it. But I mean, you can't, it is what it is, Okay, so let's see. Going this way. Okay. And John says, oh yeah, everything's great. Plenty of gators. Yeah. My daughter lives in Orlando, a couple hours from you. And she says that there's a lot of ponds and little swampy areas. And she tells me there's signs almost everywhere telling you to not go in the water. I've personally never been to that part of Florida. But yeah, I've heard there are a lot of gators out there. And I also heard a really stupid joke. And of course, you guys know I'm full of dad jokes. And the dad joke that I heard was, how do you know if it's an alligator or a crocodile? And it depends if you see it in a while or later. That's how you know. I didn't say it was a good joke, guys. I just said it was a dumb joke, and yeah, I think it accomplished that. Oh, and let's see. Greg says, I live right along the Texas-Louisiana state line. I've seen a 10. Whoa, that a 10-footer. That's a pretty good size, man. The only actually gators I've actually ever seen are in a zoo, and I think the one I saw was about 6 foot. So 10-footer is considerably larger than that. And John says, I plan on getting the yard fenced to make it beagle proof. Well, John, I'm glad I could at least provide some amusement there with my dumb joke. And you know, I mean, maybe I'm just a little sick here, but that's one of my favorite things to do when my son's friends come over is purposely tell a dad joke just so my son can get nervous and start rolling his eyes because he knows what's coming next and he wants me to stop. But hey, I figured these kids spent years embarrassing me. It's my turn to embarrass them a little bit. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but okay, yeah. Greg says, I've seen one in Lake Charles. Not familiar with the area, but I imagine that's somewhere close to you. John, LOL, tell him to suck it up. Yeah, I do tell him that. So, you know, hey, look, man. I know they say you can't pick what family you're born into, but sorry, but that's tough luck. But not to brag, but I feel like I've always been a good dad. But you know, I will say that I know that my humor is appreciated at work, especially back when I used to work in the Virginia office before I moved here. I used to have people that used to call or text me and say, hey, can you stop by and tell me a joke? I'm kind of having a bad day and I just need to hear something goofy. And you know what? I'd do it. And I'm going to move my phone because that is really loud. My goodness. It says side camera. Yeah, who cares what's going on around there? All right, phone's on the floor. I won't hear it again. And Greg says it's a gambling hotspot in the South, also mini Vegas. Yeah, I've heard about that. I actually live about an hour and 30 minutes from Wendover, Nevada, and you better bet that's right on the border of Utah and Nevada. And of course, there's gambling. I mean, even in the gas stations, there's slot machines there. So yeah, a lot of people do that gambling, and I don't know. I mean, I don't have anything particularly against gambling. If you want to do it, great. I just never done it really. I've done like small gambling things, like with friends, card games, that kind of stuff. But I don't think I've ever remember being in a actually gambling in a casino. We used to stop as a family at some of the casinos when we used to drive from California, Utah as a kid to visit my grandparents, and we used to stop at Circus in Reno, because although we didn't, my dad would gamble with the change he had in his pocket, but they always had a good buffet, and it was a family environment. So, and John says 100 calls yesterday, 75 today, busy week. Back for the first week on the phones. Yeah, John. I think it's probably a safe bet to say you didn't miss it too much. I don't know. Just guessing there. My job continues to be difficult with switching systems. It does seem to be going a little bit better. By a little bit, I mean just a little bit. And Jenny says, how was your day? My day was pretty decent. My son got sick today, so I was actually able to take off from work early because we had to go see a doctor. No big deal. They said it was just a stomach thing. It's got to pass. So they're not going to do anything for it. So no big deal. And it was nice to get off work early. And I'm in a good spot too because I got all my work done too in advance. So it's not like I'm going to have to pay for it tomorrow by having a bunch of stuff to do. I'll have a little bit of catch up because I'm sure I got some emails that I didn't see. And I'm sorry, but once I'm gone, I'm not going to log in to see them either. That's a tomorrow problem. And John says, not me. I work hard for my money. It's an art form. All right, John. Oh, I messed that up. Let me fix that. Oh boy. That is stuck in there. Let me tell you, it does not want to go. There we go. Yeah, it's nice to get off early. Yeah, it is. I've actually put in more than just a few hours here this last month, so having one day to get off early, you know what? I'm gonna take it. And last night I worked until 7:30 at night, which doesn't seem that late, except for if you consider the fact that I start at 4:30 in the morning. So, and Greg says I'm thinking about getting Resident Evil 8 this weekend. Wow, 8 of them, huh? I haven't followed that too closely, so I didn't know, but I imagine that's a horror film type. And if it is, I'm sure my daughter, my second oldest daughter, would definitely know. She is so into horror films. It's not that I don't enjoy a horror film. I do. My wife doesn't, so she doesn't watch them with me if I do watch them. So kind of makes it not fun to watch them by yourself. All right, let's see what they're trying to tell me here, because I'm a little lost here. Is this a ×2? Did it say ×2? Oh, it's a video game. I'm sorry, Greg. All right. I was way off. I was thinking it was a movie. And John says 7330 for me. It took 8 years to get that shift. Oh, 7 to 3:30. Okay, I got you. Yeah, you guys can tell I'm a little tired today. I did start work on time at 4:30 this morning, and it's 5:40 here currently. So, yeah, I kind of the hours cuts both ways. I love it because normally I get off at 1 o'clock my time, which is great because when you're trying to run a Target and Walmart after work to grab a few things, you don't have a whole lot of competition. The store's pretty empty compared to 5 o'clock or 6 in the evening. So, and that part's good. The part that's not good is getting to bed on time so you can get up that early. But you can't have it all. And as my dad would always say, if there wasn't something you didn't like about it, it wouldn't be a job. And he's correct. And John says it's hard to get a doctor's appointment sometime. Yeah, I agree. Where we're at, definitely, because we're kind of in a unique situation. I'm close to an Air Force base, and you know they don't want to pay for us to see civilian doctors, and so my wife is Army, and they a lot of times don't really want to see us, and they make that kind of obvious, but they have to see us, and so sometimes they'll pull the, oh, we don't have any appointments. Well, really, when's your next one? 4 weeks from now. But I have a fever. 4 weeks. It's like, I'm pretty sure that by the time I get that appointment, either it's going to kill me or it's going to be resolved by then. So I don't think I need an appointment. But the good news is, to get around that, a few years back, the Army, sorry, I got this notification that popped up and it's blocking most of my screen. There you go. They kind of got around that here recently by allowing us to see urgent care in this area. So if there is not an appointment available, we just go to urgent care, and because it's their fault, they didn't have appointments available, we don't have a deductible or anything. So we do get around that. We used to not get around that a few years back. So I mind it a lot less these days. But today we got fortunate. It was not a big deal. Just called and, oh, can you guys come right in? Sure. I'm really liking this build so far. I mean, I know that the only thing I can really see is the leg here. I think this is the middle leg because of the way that, yeah, because of the fact that it drops like that. Oh, there we go. See, it's locked into place. So, I believe that is the middle leg. And just in case you guys didn't know, R2-D2 was both a remote-controlled robot, and they had another model that actually fit a actor who was a certified midget. I ain't making fun of the guy. He really was a certified midget. And so the close-up shots, they used the one with the actor in it. And then when he was like moving at a distance, that was a remote controlled version of R2-D2. And also, if you look very closely at episode 4, A New Hope, you will notice that when R2-D2 is getting the recording from Princess Leia, or Leah, whatever you want to call her, that after she's done recording, he goes away. And they had to cut because if you look very closely, they didn't show it, but he got very close to hitting one of the side pieces of the ship. And in real life, he really did hit the ship. So I've seen quite a few of those behind the scenes sort of, type things. And I like those videos. Alright, so we got another piece here. Let's see. Trying to make sure. Okay, yes. Alright, so sorry guys, I'm going to talk to myself here for a minute. I promise not to argue. And John says, yes, I will use urgent care for emergencies. Well, unless it's a true emergency, but yeah. And I think I might have made a mistake here because, yeah, I think I did. Oh well. Okay, wait a minute. Of course, they show you this afterwards. Oh boy. All right. I gotta fix something here. This is kind of frustrating. They could have put this in here sooner, and in my opinion, they should have. Because there's a very specific way this has to go in. So let's take a look at the instructions just a little bit more. So they want this, yeah, like that. All right, sorry for the lack of talking here, but concentrating a little bit on this. Yeah, this is just the center leg, I believe. So I've been able to make some arrangements now that my granddaughter's been here a little bit. So there will be a live stream tomorrow night, and we will continue this model. I can't do Thursday night because that's always, Thursdays are always just a really bad day at work. That's just because of the volume of stuff that has to be done in a short amount of time. So I won't even attempt to do a Thursday, but there's a good possibility of a Friday night. And since the majority of my audience is my age, I seriously doubt that people are going to miss this to go party or miss partying to go see this, because I don't think that's an issue at our age. So I'm going to try for Friday night as well. And hopefully, I hope that'll do it. Don't know. We'll see. This seems to be coming together, and let's make sure that they don't say anything crazy this time like they did last time at last minute. They tell you to put it on, and then they give you a picture 2 pages over saying don't do it like this. Well, that's exactly how I did it, because you didn't show me before I put it on. So I'll skip ahead a little bit here to make sure that that's not going to happen, because I'm not trying to. Sorry about that. My internet's acting a little goofy there, but that's okay. It's kind of a good spot to stop, because we are at the end of bag 3, and if I started bag 4, we're going to be well over an hour. So I will just end it right here. This is what we got done so far, and that looks like the center leg. And if you activate this little thing right here, it locks the leg into place. But the minute you hit this thing, it drops. So we've got the center leg going on. And, oh boy, yeah, something decided to fall off. But anyway, guys, that's as far as we're going to get tonight. And we'll start with bag number 4 tomorrow night. Thanks for joining me tonight. And be safe out there and be good to each other. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow.